Hey guys, Garrett back for Sableye the Mind Sculptor with a deck that is perfect for me in Standard. Why is this deck perfect? Because it keeps my opponents from playing Magic, which is one of my favorite things to do in Magic. So let's just start out the list with 3 cards which are all very similar: Encircling Fissure, Commencement of the Festivities, and Repel the Abominable. These are all fog effects. They're all slightly different, but what they do is prevent damage that would be done to players. One of them is only by opposing creatures, one of them is only combat damage that would be dealt to players, and one of them is only by non-human sources. So what these are going to do is keep my almost creatureless deck from getting completely steamrolled by other decks, and they're going to keep me from taking any damage, and I'm basically hoping to cast one pretty much every turn that my opponent has a good board state, thereby keeping them from ever dealing me damage and locking them out of the game. So with only 12 fogs, how do you lock your opponent out of the game? That's a very small number of cards. No way you're going to cast one every turn. So here I have 3 sustain cards: Wildest Dreams, Seasons Past, and Shreds of Sanity. All of these cards will allow me to get back fog effects from my graveyard to continue using them. I also have some pseudo fog effects in Consulate Surveillance, which can fog 1 source for 2 energy. Undergrowth Champion, which is able to fog damage that would be dealt to it by removing a counter, and then it gets a counter with landfall. And Fumigate, which just eats up all their creatures and gains me a bunch of life, which is kind of like a super fog, much more effective fog. So now that I've introduced how I'm going to live through the game, how am I going to win the game? Well, I have 4 Incendiary Flow and 4 Collective Defiance, which together will be just enough damage to kill my opponent if I draw all but one of them. So, as you guys are probably noticing, that's a pretty iffy plan. If even 2 of them get countered, I'm completely done. Void Shatter wrecks me. I can't win it all if that happens. So how else do I win the game? Dynavolt Tower. Now, Dynavolt Tower will just get me a little bit of energy every time I play a fog. It'll help me fuel my Consulate Surveillance, and it'll eventually kill my opponent, although I'll probably mostly use it to shoot down creatures. So now that you guys know the main board, let's look into the side. We have Cataclysmic Gearhulk, Appetite for the Unnatural, and Stasis Snare. Cataclysmic deals really well with decks that have lots of non-creatures. I know it looks like it deals well with creatures, but it really does help more against decks with lots of artifacts, lots of enchantments, lots of planeswalkers, that kind of thing. Then we have Appetite for the Unnatural, of course, beating out decks with big artifacts. I was going to run Natural State, but then I remembered that Aetherworks Marvel is kind of becoming a thing again, so Appetite for the Unnatural got the spot. And then Stasis Snare beats Emrakul really hard, which I didn't really have answers to otherwise. And then I've got some more Wraths, some Radiant Flames, and the final Fumigates. These will help me against small decks. I actually definitely need these because Humans completely dodges one of my fog effects, Repel the Abominable. So I need to be able to bring in Radiant Flames as another way to deal with that deck. So I hope you guys like that deck. This one's probably going to get played with. I'm testing with it now and I really like it. And peace out.